morning, learners. Welcome to our second lesson for mathematics, grade 10. And today we are going to talk about ratio. This is not a new topic since you have been taught ratio in grade 9. So it's just going to be like a review of what we have been taught already. Okay. First of all, I like to give the lesson objectives so that learners can know what they are expected to do after the end of this lesson. Okay, you can copy down the lesson objective. Okay. Okay, that is our lesson objective. We are only going to look at one lesson objective for today, for today's lesson. Okay, it says divide a quantity in a given ratio. The main word here is divide. Divide a quantity in a given ratio. Okay, before we move on, I would like to ask you, what is ratio? Because you cannot work with something that you do not know the meaning. So what is ratio? Okay. Ratio is a comparison between two or more numbers with the same unit. Okay? The comparison between two or more numbers with the same unit. Okay, let me just write that down. Okay, we define a ratio as a comparison between two or more numbers with the same unit. For example, if we are comparing 4 centimeters and 2 centimeters, okay, you can see that they have the same unit, 2 centimeters, 4 centimeters and 2 centimeters. So if they ask you to express that in the form of ratio, we can write 4 to 2. In the simplest form, is 2 to 1. Okay. The comparison between two or more numbers with the same unit. For example, 4 centimeters and 2 centimeters, if they ask you to express it in the form of ratio, we write as 4 to 2, and in the simplest form is 2 to 1. Okay. There are different calculations involved in the topic of ratio. Okay, different calculations involved in the topic of the ratio. The first one is simplifying ratio. The second one is division in a given ratio. The third one is increase and decrease by a given ratio. And the last one is given the ratio and one value, find the other value. Okay, those are the calculations that are involved in the topic of ratio. The first one is simplifying ratio. Simplifying ratio is just to write the ratio in its simplest form. For example, if you have 2 to 1, 2 to 4, okay, that one is not in the simplest form. So in the simplest form, you can see that between 2 and 4, there is still a highest common factor, which is 2. So in simplest form, you write 1, 2, 2. Okay. The second one is division in a given ratio, which is what we are going to look at in this lesson. The third one is increase and decrease by a given ratio. And the fourth one is given the ratio and one value, find the other value. Those are the four calculations involved in the topic of ratio. But we are not going to look at all of them. We are only going to look at division in a given ratio. I just want you to copy down those so that when we continue next, it will make it easy for us. Okay. We said today we are going to look at division in a given ratio. A question can come in the exam saying divide a certain amount or a certain quantity in a given ratio. They can also use some terminology such as distribute, share, or divide. Okay, let me just list them down. Terminologies such as distribute, share, divide, are used to represent division in a given ratio. Okay, so when you find a question asking you to distribute or to share or to define, they all mean division in a given ratio. You don't just expect one terminology to be used. Sometimes the examiner can say distribute $200 in a ratio 1 to 2, or share $200 in the ratio 1 to 2, or divide $200 in the ratio 1 to 2. They all refer to division in a given ratio.